What's up, Hippo lovers? Welcome to another episode of WTF Happened in this time August 2020. And yeah, this time the list is very long. Let's just jump right into it. We did have a $2,000 Rabia invitational organized by Mario, however you want to pronounce the second name, Ovale, Colombian YouTuber. I don't want to say it, but I think like the size of T90 for some people that might not know him, but casts in Spanish exclusively. And he did invite 8 players, as you can see here, and some surprises. Leary instantly winning 3-0 against Mr. Yo, Viper beating MBL, Tato did go through over there, Hera beating Doubt after he came back after having Corona, and now is back to full-time streaming. And semifinals were really good as well. Hera Tato was a nice set, Leary Viper was a nice set, and then very late on the same day we had Viper against Hera. And as you can see, it is scheduled for 19 GMT. I think it did even start later since we had two best 3-2s there. And Hera did play the second semi-final and wanted to give him some time to rest. So I think it started like 20, 30 GMT or something in that ballpark. And now I have to choose my words very carefully. Viper did not perform like he wanted to. He got clapped 4-0. Games 1 and 2 were okay. 3 and 4 weren't interesting to see. And Tara obviously super happy. And now you have to ask the question, what's the level of professionalism we are asking of players? Viper, like, can you say, okay, you shouldn't play the tournament if you aren't willing to adjust your sleep schedule or aren't willing to play long? He had a hangover as well, he said. Like, should you sign up for such a tournament then, if you know you can't play late? Is it like, do we want to have Viper anyways? Is it still competitive, but people are enjoying seeing Viper Hera no matter if he can't play? It's like, and I'm not discussing the result really, right? Even if Viper wins 4-0, I'd probably go into this talk. Or if the games are more competitive. Or if Hera plays worse as well. If both are playing worse. Like, it is not easy for me to say and judge. I was just disappointing seeing another final. Obviously lots of people disappointed as well that like their Viper lost, but I think I'm trying to see the bigger picture, right? Where do we draw the line? How professional do we want to be? And what are we expecting of like one of the main guys of Age of Empires, right? Or maybe the main guy if we look at esport only. He was hungover, didn't feel well, had to play late. How should he prepare for such a final? It's $1,000 for first, $500 for second. So it's not like the biggest tournament ever, but it's still like a lot of prestige. Look at that lineup. Lots of viewers. And has a bitter taste for me, this tournament. But, well, Hera 4-0. His first big victory, I would say. Had some smaller runs, if we remember E-Paradise tournament over the Viper. And now gets that one. Congratulations to him. He certainly played really, really well. And yeah, happy in that regard. And then we had the second big episode of Red Bull Wololo. This time $30,000 tournament. And yeah, again, Empire Wars, some adjustments made there, a bit longer of the time. And brackets, as you can see, In the end, we had Mr. Larry win against Terra in a really, really nice final. If we look at the start, we had some surprises there. Winchester with a really good performance. Capote, after coming back in, I think, March, now beating MBL in 3-2 there. MBL not too happy with the Empire Wars format. Fanbase of Capote obviously went absolutely wild. Lovely stuff there. HCM with an okay showing there. We had Les falling, the Max as one of the 3 guys that did qualify going through there. One of the other guys was Nikov with a very strong performance. And as mentioned before, Capote. Then we went into the quarterfinals. Nikov Viper, an absolute banger of a set. Leary the Max was actually pretty close as well. Hera 3-0. Pretty solid performance for sure. Mr. Yo going through there 3-0 as well. And MBL Capote, by the way, if you have very limited time, watch that game 5. One of top 5 games I've ever cast for sure. Absolute crazy game 5 over there. And then we got into the semifinals, and yeah, Leary and Terra with great preparation. What they said in the after interviews did both go through and are claiming their fair shares there. Leary's so happy in the after interview, and yeah, Hera not really sad either. So those were 2 really deserved winners. And yeah, same semifinals, or like 4 players as in Red Bull Wololo 1, but this time with different outcome. Pretty interesting stuff for sure. And at the end of Red Bull Wololo 2, Red Bull Wololo 3 was kind of announced as well. In the outro they said something like, see you next season. So lots of hope in that direction. Also lots of hope is coming when it says King of the Desert 3 tournament organized by MEM, sponsored by Microsoft and Pinch Deck. And yeah, that's going to be pretty massive for sure. Just look at the prize pool. We have a solid 17k for first. I think that might be the biggest 1v1 prize since WCG 2002 or something like that. So like in a very, 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 very long time for sure. And yeah, going down to 32 places paid, something we didn't see for quite some time either. So that's like nice to give some people in the back some motivation. If you make the top 16, you go into a GSL format group stage and will get rewarded quite nicely there. People are already grinding, so that will be the main tournament that will happen over the next, I think, 6 weeks, 8 weeks or something, starting September 7th, ending October 25th. So I will go with 7 weeks there, and yeah, going to be the banger. Absolutely looking forward to that. Rabia only. And then we had a lot of small thingies going on. DM World Cup 3 ended, and yeah, what can I say? I'm just a sad hippo, right? And in the end, it was true going through, beating Tero in the final weekend. The code went through as well in a nice loser bracket finals. Viper did lead 1-0 because he was in the winner bracket final and just smashed it through 5-0 there in played games. Did in the end take the $3,000 for first, and had a bitter taste. We didn't get the final that we wanted. But what we wanted was doing something great. And Lil Trouble, Australian streamer, did a series of streams with show matches. And for example, one of the highlights was probably Viper against Terra there. And people could donate to sabotage the games. For example, donate $150 and Viper has to delete 10 villages when he reaches castle age, and so forth and so on. The chat could decide on the strategies earlier, and they did raise over 10,000 Australian dollars over that period, and it's still not over. So Lil Trouble, your place to go. Lovely what she does there. Hera did have a challenge for himself that got a lot of attention. Him trying to get to 2k DE ranking 1v1 without a single loss. And he did go 44-0 going through, and people got crazy how good he is and how consistent. And yeah, there weren't really that many close games, so good on him. Then we have a Nomad tournament by Mr. Ondo himself, $1,000 prize pool. We are very deep into this one and had one surprise in the semi-finals here. The Vietnamese team, ACM, same name, Bad Boy and Rolls Royce, they beat Hera, Leary, Hart and Selector, but 4-0. That was a big surprise to me. So $500 for grabs. Finals coming up pretty soon. I don't really know. I thought this was this weekend. Playoff 30th? Might be this weekend. So tune in there if you're a Nomad team game fan. 4v4s there for sure. Then we had an announcement of Empire Wars 2v2 tournament by Mr. Lidakor, the brain behind the Two Pools tournament. Sign-ups were pretty big, and we see here Aftermath of the team. MBL Nikov, Jordan is back, no one replied, and Heresy is sending a team. Like, the lineup are sick again, pretty lovely stuff to see, and yeah, that will conclude before King of the Desert really starts rolling. If you aren't into Empire Wars, if you aren't into 1v1s, you might want to look at IRH League, if I pronounce that correctly. $500 tournament with a lot of other top 30 players there. ACM, Bekti, Capot, Strakont, and they're playing, I think, Swiss format? I'm not 100% sure. Into the bracket afterwards. I think it's like 6 people survive into the bracket. Yeah, that looks like it makes sense. And no, it's actually only 4-player double elimination then. Okay. So, yeah. Lovely for you if you want to follow some of those people. And then we have the AOE Olympics, $7,000 format, and the big favorites are indeed going through. Viper grabbing a lot of gold there, and China is getting some gold, Vietnam, Brazil, and yeah, it's basically different disciplines. A discipline could be Arabia 1v1 or Black Forest 4v4. And then you send a team or a single player to grab some medals for your team. Did I miss anything? No. LLAL. And yeah, the look ahead. So look ahead, as you see at the top, it is simply the Empire Wars 2v2, Air, and AO Olympics continues, but the big story, obviously. King of the Desert, $50,000. Especially the top, like everyone who could consider to win will go full try hard. I think like the top 8 will go super crazy with training now. Not really sure how much you can train, but you can look at the ladder and everyone who's still in will just grind so much. At least that's what I'm expecting. Will be really interesting to see what's coming there. And yeah, I will say goodbye, Hippo lovers.